don't think that he's good for you.
How do you know what's good for me?
That's my opinion!
Don't you get it? Why can't anybody have an opinion but you?
That I don't think that he's good. That I do.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Sandra P's Gen Extra. We are here for the live review of Real Housewives of Rhode Island. We are in their first season. We're on episode 10, Fools Rush In. And that is from the Capo. We finally get to see Rich, Rosie's husband, Rich, in action. And he is a Frank Sinatra impersonator. Not as corny as it sounds. I actually loved it. I thought it was really sweet. And I like Rich. I like Rosie as a couple. And it was really good. Thank you, Cece. Cece is the moderator. Welcome in. Thank you so much. She is welcoming in everyone to Sandra P's Gen Extra. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe to push the channel up in the YouTube algorithm so that more people can enjoy all the amazing content. Yes, yes, and yes. Thank all of you so much. American Born is speaking to Cece. We've already seen each other in the YouTube streets, which happened to be right here. I was doing my live Atlanta review. We had a lot of fun with that one. So if you haven't had a chance to watch it, please do so. I'd appreciate that so much. I hate to say I thought he would sound more like Frank, in my opinion. Yeah, he's got to do a little better. I don't know. Well, he wasn't even Harry Connick Jr. He got to get there. I was kind of surprised at that too. We know he can sing. Rosie showed us that little video that he had last week. So Rich, maybe work on that. It's a weekly gig, so maybe he'll get a little bit better with it. So they drove over to Boston, as we saw last week, during this 45-minute ride. The ladies had a really rough ride. And Alycia and Rosie showed up separately. Another friend, Monique, met them there. And y'all, this ride was too much. This ride was really, really crazy. So Rich is at the Capo. He's actually on stage. He's singing a few of the Frank hits. He looks amazing, but I am with American Born. I felt he could sound a little more like him. Liz, oh, Liz, my girl Liz. That's why I have to ask Liz. Liz, you better blame the menopause. What's going on with you, Liz? Liz was being passive aggressive. Liz is mad as heck after the ride. She's so upset because Alycia has come in crying, and Liz feels like Alycia is putting on and just trying to get sympathy. So Liz is making all these smart comments. I think she's trying to provoke Joellen. I liked Joellen's role as a mediator, trying to be a peacekeeper, even though we know Joellen is two-faced, and Joellen is a little bit of a trip as well. But I feel like Joellen sincerely didn't want a problem with Liz and didn't want Liz and Alycia to have this situation get even worse. So that's what I think about that. Liz is angry. As Rosie and them come in, Ashley, who may not be the brightest bulb, she's certainly the sweetest. We love Ashley over here. She's one of the younger housewives. She comes in and she sits down like, is everything okay? It's a little bit awkward. And we see her in her confessional say the tension was so thick. The other lady, Monique, came in, and she's married to one of the New England Patriots, or he used to be. Alycia jumped up and hugged her. Monique, I needed you. Alicia's still crying, y'all. She had to borrow Joellen's sunglasses to come in with because her eyes were all puffy. So Joellen's still trying to like make up with Liz, like, Liz, is everything okay? And then her and Alycia were trying to make a little bit of conversation, like, oh, well, is this that? Is that over here? And Liz was just, I don't know. Give me a minute. But again, in fairness to Liz, you can tell that she's one of those people that it does take her more than a minute to get over it. So Joellen, you needed to back up a little bit. Maybe sit next to Alycia and try to stroke her hair and tap her on the shoulder, because this was not going well, and I knew that it wouldn't go well. It was kind of bad. AB says, Boston is closed. We took the Amtrak. My mom was still alive, and we went and visited while in Rhode Island. Yes, it's very close. Providence, Rhode Island. And anyone who knows me, you know I work at an airline. And when I used to have to repatriate bags with people, that was one of the jobs I had at one point. A lot of time, if luggage was left one or the other, it would just be a quick hop, skip, and jump for it to just go to either Providence or Boston, and you'd probably get your bag within an hour, hour and a half or so. So they are very close. And this little 45-minute ride shouldn't have been a thing. They had charcuterie board. They had champagne. I don't know why it turned into this, but it did. Liz is still upset. She's more upset than Alycia, but her upset is anger. Alicia's upset is hurt feelings, feeling of betrayal, and that sort of thing. Poor Ashley, I felt bad for her. American Born, we could thank our lucky stars that she didn't start crying, because she didn't. It was just literally, she gave a face like, ooh, like the cringe face. She said, this is awkward. What's going on? Because Liz doesn't want to be wrong, in my opinion. And yeah, we have to blame them for that. American Born, we see the way they tiptoe around her. She's supposed to be HBIC and the baddest B. And you can't tell anybody like that they're wrong, when they should have been checking her when she's wrong. And she'll just have to deal with it. Now, Liz, does Jerry tiptoe around you like that? This is too much. So Alicia's sitting across the table, y'all. She's still crying. And she's trying to like calm down a little bit. But we get a confessional from her. She said, if Monique was here when that happened, she would have tore Liz a new a-hole. So Monique, we need Monique to be the friend of, maybe not Dolores, even though we do get a few more Dolores sightings during this episode. So Ashley's feeling the awkwardness. The other ladies keep looking at each other. At this point, everybody, Liz and Joellen, every time Joellen touches Liz, Liz is getting madder and madder. Liz finally, to her credit, got up to go take a smoke break. Why did Joellen follow the lady out there? Liz, you should have been chewing on a gummy as well. She went out there and she was still mad. Here comes Joellen. What did I do? And Liz is like, you're being fake. You're being this. I forgot what they were yelling at each other, but at one point they were yelling at each other. Liz was directly, you better get the F out of my face. And Joellen told her in a way that Liz knew it was serious. She was like, Liz, you better not touch me. Get out of my face. Did she threaten to punch Liz? I'm not sure, but I thought Joellen was going to punch Liz. When they went back in, Liz and Joellen were still going at it loud enough where the other patrons could hear what was going on. And Rosie's in a confessional, like, I purposefully had this where nobody has to talk at this event. And then again, Kelsey, who is a problem and a troublemaker, is not even there. And they're doing all this. So this was a little bit crazy. So Rich is up there. He starts singing one of the Fool's Russian, which the episode is named for him. He's like, wise man say. And Alicia's like, ah! That was so funny, y'all. Alicia act like Elvis had walked in or something. That was hilarious. She's like, this song is her favorite song. And Ashley is swooning over the song. Rosie loves it. I like when Rich came in, he and Rosie came in. You know how Frank Sinatra would intro a place? He came in like that and kind of deposited Rosie at the table. And it was a big thing. And Ashley, I heard her say to Rosie, you and him should do a duet. And Rosie's like, I would die. She said, no, he's the star here. So Rosie was so proud of him. And they managed to almost ruin this event. I didn't like that. So Alicia's in a confessional. This is what I like about Alycia. This is what I love about it being first season. I think the only one that has in their mind, like, well, how am I going to look with this and that is Liz. Alicia's in a confessional and saying, Liz is abusive. And I think that Liz is a little bit abusive. I think the silent treatment that she was giving, that was wrong. And I also think that she was putting her hands on Joellen. Now, Joellen was trying to like, Liz, are you okay? Kind of stroking her hair. Liz pulled Joellen's hair a few times. And Joellen's like, I swear to God, pull my hair again. Put your hands on me again. And they were going to come to blows. And Alycia at one point was yelling, Joellen, don't react. Joellen, don't react. I'm proud of Joellen for not reacting. Because we know that she was sent away as a child and she's probably had to defend herself even physically. Before Liz, your little self would have been no match. So Alycia is in the confessional saying why she finds Liz abusive. She says she focuses on one thing to try to make it seem like Alycia was lying and that she shouldn't have done that. Excuse me. If she cares about her, then she would actually have not kept being hyper-focused on. Of course, the whole thing started with Liz declaring that Alycia was never homeless. We get a scene of the Rhode Island old lady gang. It is, I'll add Alicia's mom to that. Alicia's mom, the mom's sisters, they're all going out because Serena has some kind of dancing award. Alycia, of course, doesn't know what it is. She finally settles on like the little Miss America of dancing in that region. So, okay, Alycia, we'll take it. This little girl was flipping, doing all kind of stuff all over the floor. She was amazing. So congratulations, Serena. I really love that. Billy was there. Everybody was proud. They showed a little bit of the event. Then they all went out to lunch. So they're finding out from Alycia, how's everything going? And Alycia is saying, I was so surprised at the way Liz acted. One of the aunties, one of the blondes, she was a troublemaker. She was saying, so are you saying if she walked into this room right now that she would pretend that she would be your friend? And Alicia's like, yeah, but I'm not taking her call right now. Let's see. I'll read a few comments. I don't think Rula tiptoes with Liz. No, she doesn't play with her at all. We're gonna see a scene with Rula, and it actually they're more equals, which is why Rula, we need you to come to work. Maybe we blame it on the change with Liz. American Born, I told her, you better say it's menopause, something going on, because she's losing the audience and fast. Liz was that girl. Everybody loves her. I still like Liz, but she has moved so wrong with Alycia. I can see people why they would turn on her and really be disgusted by her. I think that she's got maybe a little too much coaching, maybe from Dolores. I don't know from who, but she's super aware, hyper aware of the cameras and how certain things will look. That's not good in a Housewives show. We need them to be more just not so professional, more real life. And that's what we're giving them credit for. This is their first season and they don't know, hey, don't do this, don't do that. Cece again said she wanted to see a tussle. Yeah, it almost came to that. They were seriously in each other's faces, and Liz pulled Joellen's chair like a couple of times or pushed it. And then she's going to swear that she didn't. So AB, I don't know if it's the change or if it's something else. One of OLG is like, isn't it the medication she takes? All the ladies are laughing. They're like, what medication? You know, she owns a medical marijuana business. Could it be something that's making her paranoid? This is the kind of family I love. They don't know what Alycia has done or hasn't done, but they're 10 toes down with her. They like Liz, but if there's a choice, there is no choice. Alycia all day and twice on Sunday. So now they kind of talk about Liz like a dog. I found that really funny. At that age, I would have been on with me. Cece, yeah, they were doing a lot. But Joellen, I kind of think that some of what she was doing maybe was meant to provoke, especially knowing her history. My sister got some girl when she lived out there and had to go to court over it. American Born, so maybe they are provocative like that. But all that hair flipping and stuff, in the heat of an argument, you can't touch anyone. I love the auntie scene. That was my family. Yeah, American Born, 10 toes down. They were in it to win it with Alycia, and I loved it. I thought that was really cute. And the mother is saying, well, now I'm kind of offended. So she's saying that you weren't homeless. Alycia said, yeah. She said, I wasn't homeless. And the mother doubles down. You were. So the mother actually knows what it was. She was there more so than Liz, more so than Gary, who was a child. And we get a confessional from Alycia talking about how hurt she is by Liz and how on guard kind of she's going to have to be with Liz because of the way Liz treated her in that moment when she knew how upset Alycia was. And Liz just doubled down, tripled down. And now she's running around mad as if she's owed an apology by Alycia. She's been calling Alycia, trying to be in touch. And Alycia is not taking her calls. She says she needs a minute, and I don't blame her. And then one of the blonde auntie at the end, she said, I think she's jealous. They're all laughing like, yeah, she's jealous. Alycia, you're perfect. You got a perfect life. And Alicia's like, okay, now I don't have a perfect life. I don't have a perfect life. And she's in a confessional saying, I've been engaged 10 years. I didn't get the Cinderella engagement that I want. We see a scene with Pizza Billy. Pizza Billy, you're a little too much. I'm going to need you to plan this wedding or hire a wedding planner and propose to her the way she wants. He's telling Alycia, Cinderella, you're almost 50 years old. You knew that 10 years ago when you wanted to marry her. And now you have this child. You know that little girl's not going to want some courthouse thing. And you got the money, so do it right. So on Judy, again, they've decided that it's the medication. They are all laughing. Liz, I hope you don't see this scene and get upset. These ladies really like you. I'll say another thing. Wherever they were eating at, I don't know if they went to one of Pizza Billy's place or somewhere else, because they have other restaurants as well. Alycia got the garlic bread with a side of sauce, and it looked so good. She was dipping it in, eating it. It looked really good. We see Kelsey. Kelsey goes over to Liz's house. Dolores is there. So they come in, and Alycia is on another scene. She's saying that she is proud that she was able to tell the truth. She said her mother told her that I'm proud of you for telling the truth. Nobody can say that you weren't homeless because you actually were homeless. So this has turned into a thing where one group sees it one way, and I see it Alicia's way because, again, she had the experience, and all Alycia had to do, I mean, all Liz had to do once she knew she heard Alycia was apologize. I still can't understand her tripling down. And again, I do like Liz, but I don't understand the way she's moving here. Shara Hill, welcome in. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us during this live. This is the Rhode Island ladies. They just almost got into a fight at the Frank Sinatra impersonators event. So it was really funny. And now, like, the group is kind of divided down the middle, and it's an issue. But thank you so much for coming in during the live. I appreciate it. Good to see you. American Born is saying, exactly. Liz saying how her family would feel. Well, obviously, they feel like Alycia. Yeah, that's her family. Alycia is going to take up for her. And then Liz, she's saying that part of the reason why she is so adamant is that she has a big, beautiful family. They wouldn't allow her to be homeless. Who knows when Alicia's mother finally revealed to the family, like, listen, I'm almost losing my house. This man has put me and my daughter out. Who knows what she told about the husband? We don't know in the time frame. Cece says, I think Liz's Lebanese culture, it's normal for families to live in the same home. So maybe she doesn't think moving in with one's grandparents doesn't mean homeless perspective. Yeah, Cece, she did keep stressing. She says, in America, the way we see homeless is that you're in a sleeping bag under the stars. Maybe, but, and like you said, culturally as well, Alycia already said how she felt about it. The fans will get Pizza Billy together, American Born, they sure will. We sure will, because I really don't see why he can't just give her what she wants if it doesn't matter that much to him. Cece welcomes in. Shara Hill says, good morning. AB also, good morning. Thank you so much. Good point. Yeah, that is a good point. American Born is recognizing what Cece is saying. And Shara Hill is speaking back. You're welcome. She says, thank you. You're welcome. They moved to the basement and she lost her car bed and own room. Yes, that means a lot for a 6 or 7 year old. They showed her at that age and she was about 6 or 7. So the little things that kids fixate on, and kids are so self-centered, they'll come to a conclusion that it's their fault. This is my fault that mommy and daddy are not together. That sort of thing. So I think Liz owed it to Alycia as her friend to show a lot more compassion. So Kelsey and Dolores are over at Liz's house, and they are saying that now my issue is with Joellen. So now, y'all, they've turned on Joellen. First, Liz wants to do like a loyalty test. What would you have done if you were there? To Kelsey, who wasn't even invited. Here's Dolores. Yeah, what would you have done if you was there? Kelsey says, well, she lies. I would have seen both sides of it. Kelsey, no, you weren't invited because you can't see both sides of an issue. That's why Rosie wouldn't have you around her husband's place of business where he sings every week. So they're saying that the devil was coming out of Joellen. She said, I don't have a problem with Joellen trying to make amends. I don't have a problem either for her trying to make amends, talking about Alycia behind her back, but they're looking at it as if now she's betrayed them. And I'm curious to see how this situation is going to fall out, because remember, they were all kind of treating Rosie as a person that they were going to make fun of and tease and isolate. And now they're kind of trying to put Joellen in that slot along with Rosie. And in the car, Liz said something really interesting. She said, I'm not Rosie. So she knew that they were bullying Rosie and treating Rosie as the odd one out, to say, I'm not Rosie. I'm not going to sit back and take it. Well, then why are you shocked that Rosie finally decided she's not going to sit back and take it? So Liz is telling the story. She's getting so animated. She had her dog in her lap. The dog was like, oh, like she hit the dog. She said, oh, excuse me. Dolores had to take the dog off of Liz's lap. I think he had a little jacket on while Liz was kind of explaining everything that happened. And Liz is saying, Joellen just wants to stir the pot. That's all she does. She changes how she responds based on who's around. So I found that to be true. We have seen Joellen do that before. And Liz points out the first time we were on the beach together, Joellen was doing that. And I'm not going to sit there and allow it. Joellen brought up the whole scenario that had, remember, Rosie and Alycia got into it. And she's like, welcome to Rhode Island, B. So that whole scenario was started by Joellen. So Liz is now back in her confessional lying about apologizing 1,200 times. And she hasn't apologized 1,200 times. Luckily, maybe she gave a good one, but I didn't even hear that. And it was kind of sarcastic if she did. So we find out that Joellen and Liz have called each other, and they're going to arrange a meeting too. This is the one that I'm looking forward to seeing. At the end, Joellen seemed a little bit nervous going into this meeting, so I'm curious about what's going to happen. So Kelsey's in a confessional lying. I've had my issue with Liz, and Liz and I are just fine. Production shows us Liz cussing Kelsey out like a dog just for saying something about ongoing and mentioning Dino's name in the same sentence. Dino down by the seawall. She got cussed out like a dog. And when Liz fights somebody, she turns into a 13-year-old. She's telling Kelsey, "You're never my friend. Get out. You're not my friend." And she did a similar thing to Alycia. Now she's trying to make it as if Alycia was never her friend. And so Joellen is saying that is hurtful. So Liz is saying, and she kept putting her hands on me, saying, "Calm down, calm down." Now that can infuriate someone who is already in an agitated state. And I couldn't tell if Joellen was being intentionally provocative, but I don't like that. You don't touch someone when they're at that point. So that was a little too much. I didn't get my own room until I was like 16 or 17. Oh, American Born. I shared with a sister until probably about 15, 16. So yeah, that's normal. That dog was about to bite Liz. Yeah, it was her own dog. She was agitating the dog. And it was one of those little crabby dogs too. AB said, "I haven't heard not one apology to Alycia." Yeah, I thought maybe I missed it because I said one, but it certainly wasn't no 1,200. I don't know where Liz is getting that from. I think if you call Liz out in the least little way, she acts like you expected her to grovel. And she's Liz. She doesn't grovel. Nobody wants her to grovel, but we want her to recognize when she's wrong. And she's wrong. Thank you, CC. 3 likes, 6 in the live. Please like, comment, subscribe to ensure Sandra Peach Gen Extra moves up in the YouTube algorithm. Yes, I will appreciate that. And I'll mention Team Replay, as you come back, leave a comment. That helps me as well. I answer every comment. And you have the hype feature, so I would appreciate one of those. You get 3 a week. Liz is telling the story. She kept putting her hands on me, and she was trying to tell me that calm down, calm down. And at the time, I wasn't even really excited. Yeah, Liz, you were excited. Y'all were yelling at that man's show. People around them were looking at them, and Alycia was screaming at the top of her lungs like, "Don't react," because Liz was trying to actually provoke Joellen. And then Liz calls Joellen the devil. She's the devil. She's the devil. And when she was touching me, I didn't feel any comfort. It's like she was trying to start something with me. And then she get a confessional from Liz saying, "Joellen, she's a two-faced one. And I really don't put anything past Joellen. I think Joellen would do anything." So Liz, what are you saying? Liz is trying to like throw stuff out there about Joellen. And Rula's going to allude to some stuff later that Joellen, it may be true. And then people are not really going to feel sorry for Joellen because she's been trying to drag Rula and Brian to Front Street ever since the show started. And we are 10 episodes in. So now the ear of Liz and Kelsey is kind of focused on poor Joellen. I'll say poor Joellen, even though it's really not poor Joellen, but now they've taken it off of Rosie and now they're kind of upset with her. So this is too much. So Dolores says, "Well, the two of you should get together." I find Alycia not to be really strong-minded, still trying to talk to her. Maybe she'll come to her senses. You guys have a history. Liz says she tried to call Alycia. Alicia's not picking up. And Dolores said, "You just have to wait until she's ready." So next we get a scene with Rosie and Rich. They're carrying like all this stuff. Rosie's trying to do her TV thing. This bag is Gucci. It's just it says Gucci on it, but it's just a beach bag. Rich is like, "Shut up," which I found really funny. Yes, Rich, don't let her do that because I hate when the housewives start that mess. Who cares? So she gets there. There are literally a dozen people on the beach. Rich has a ton of brothers. Remember on Watch What Happens Live, he said he got one single brother left, but there are 7 of them. So Rich's dad and Rich's mom have a whole bunch of adult children. The baby is like, I think 30 something. I don't know. He's a young man. Everybody's nice looking. Everybody's friendly. And Rosie says, I'm obsessed with Rich's big Italian family. She says, my sister-in-laws, my brother-in-laws, I'm so glad to be a part of them. Y'all, I'm happy that Rosie has this and has this encouragement. She sits next to her father-in-law. He's like, Rosie, and he starts hugging her and everything. Everybody's glad to see Rosie. Even her mother-in-law from a few seats down are like, they're all just smiling at Rosie. And the dad's like, well, we wanted 8, but we got 7. And he asks his wife, how you feel having another daughter? She says, well, I always wanted another daughter. So they just love Rosie. And y'all, I loved it. Rich is smiling. Rosie is in a confessional again, telling us it was never in her plans to have kids. And she feels like Rich, he says that is what he wants. But if he ever says to her, like, it's an ultimatum, this could mean our marriage, she'd consider it then. Of course, the father-in-law starts teasing her right away. So you ever think about maybe a little kids are coming along? Rosie's kind of teasing. And then for some reason, she starts picking at Rich. He's getting so old. I don't know if he's going to be sooner and next to 70. And Rich is like, me? He said, you're not that much younger than me. And then men can have children a lot longer. Rich, that's true. But we've seen that some of these old men babies are not 100%. So I wouldn't wait too long if that's what y'all want. AB says, it's okay to use Joellen for their own purposes, but now she's the devil, police. I noticed that American Born, when she's pulling out video cameras and spreading everybody else's business, it's funny and it's cute and it's okay. Now she's trying to be the mediator and think for herself. They don't like it. AB says, I just wish Rosie would have a baby. I think she wants to, but she's uncertain of what type mother she'll be. Welcome in, welcome back. Thank you for coming back, Kiwan JTV. It is great to see you. Everyone in here knows you are one of my fellow content creators. But Team Replay, if you don't know Kiwan JTV, you can go there and get great reviews also. So thank you for coming in. Shara Hill is laughing. Yeah, this is the cutest scene, Shara Hill. They are on a beach in Rhode Island. It's beautiful. They had a beautiful day. They've got a dozen family members at least before Rich and Rosie even showed up. I love their relationship. They're teasing each other. AB says she feels like she wished Rosie would have a baby. Rosie's scared of it because she's saying because of the way her mom treated her, she labeled herself a people pleaser. She said she had a big church wedding because the mom was like, if you don't do it, I'm not coming. So Rosie's mom is a tough customer, whereas Rosie's in-laws are very supportive. And the dad, I don't know how he knew Rosie needed this. But again, I mentioned she sat down and he's like, Rosie, he's right next to her. All right, what about these kids? Her and Rich start kind of teasing each other back and forth. And then he said, Rosie, you'll be a great mom. You'll be a great mom. And Rosie is just like, she's not really answering that. So I don't know if she got choked up or touched or not. I kind of did because Rich's dad, that was really sweet. How did you know Rosie needed that? They got the room now. The house is done. Yeah, I think that's good, American Born. Good. I have to finish watching the after show. So that's another thing. They started saying, yeah, you got working on a baby. You're working on this house. How's the construction going? And they were saying like this and that's been delivered, but they're still looking for that and this. So it's really funny. I'm laughing at the old man baby. Oh, yes. I'll tell you, we are talking about Real Houses of Atlanta. If you didn't get to see my review earlier, Shamia's over there, Shara Hill. She's only in her 40s. Beautiful, youthful lady. But we know, according to Dr. Jackie, in your 30s, it's a geriatric pregnancy. But they never put it on the man. Shamia's husband is in his 60s. Every embryo of baby they have had, the first one Shamia had, her and her husband had naturally. But now they've been having issues. He wants a son. He is Kenyan. He wants a son. He has 2 daughters. The second daughter at this time has special needs. I won't speak that over her for her life, but that poor little baby, Shara Hill, Shamia would share her story online. This little girl's had so many different operations. She has so much going on because they used a surrogate for her. The surrogate they used had just had a baby for Candy Burris. She had Blaze for Candy Burris, who's perfect, but this lady ended up getting cancer while carrying Shiloh. And she had to deliver Shiloh early. So Shiloh has all the challenges that she has from they're delivered early. And then the lady was like on, I guess, cancer medication or whatever, and had to deliver her immediately. So, and Shamia, y'all, we found out on this episode, Shamia had the nerve to let Shadeen carry another embryo, a boy. It didn't take. They've only got one boy embryo left. So Gerald being in his 60s, that old man swimmers that are going on, I don't think it's just the woman, Dr. Jackie, during this geriatric pregnancy. I think it could be the old man. But we'll get back to the beach scene. So they are, Rosie's teasing Rich about he's getting older, and he's telling her, hey, you are a woman and you're in your 30s. You're just you the same as me. You're getting older. And she says, my Botox doesn't even, my body won't know the difference. Like, Rosie, that Botox is for your face. They don't have any ovary Botox. So if you want to do it, like AB said, you better get on it, if that's what you want. So we see another scene with Kelsey and Joellen. Y'all, we find out that Joellen, she is asking Kelsey, like, well, how'd you come up with the painting? Kelsey is saying, oh, I won a Scholastic Art Award in high school. I've always been creative. I paint. And Joellen says, shut up. You never told me anything like that. So they're painting, they're talking. And Joellen is asking her, well, where do you stand? What do you think about what happened? Kelsey's lying. I don't think you did anything wrong. Now, you just were sitting there laughing while they were calling this lady the devil and everything else. But Kelsey's saying, I don't think you did anything wrong. And Joellen, being the person that she is, says, well, why did you tell Liz that I did? So y'all, Liz has assumed, as Kelsey left Liz's house, Liz must have called Joellen and said, and you are wrong. And even Liz, and even everyone else agrees with me. Even Kelsey agrees with me. So Kelsey is like on pins and needles because she got caught in a lie by Joellen. So they have split this cast almost down the middle. I think we're going to have Joellen on one side, Alycia on the same side, Ashley on the same side. And then now Liz and Kelsey are firmly in each other's camp. And then Dolores, who is a friend of, Rula's going to be on any side opposite of Joellen. So Rula's not really on Liz's side, but she's not going to be on the side with Joellen. So Rula, you're in a good spot. You're down the middle. So we get a confessional. Joellen is saying that Liz is scary. She said people are scared of her, and it's true. I feel like she's like Lord of the Rings. She's gonna climb out of the screen and get you. And why are they so scared of Liz? Are we missing something? I don't know. Is Liz like connected? Is Liz connected, or Jerry connected? What's going on with this? So y'all, I think this is crazy. So Kelsey kind of like lost her words. She's muttering and stuttering that I would have been on both sides. You're lying, Kelsey. You would not. But then again, you shouldn't have to be on both sides. Just pick the right side, and that'll usually work. In this case, Liz is wrong. I know you're a little bit afraid of her, but if you're her real friend, you can tell her she's wrong. And if she doesn't accept it, then maybe that's not a friendship you need to keep. I don't know. So while they were painting, welcome in, Toot Latrice. Thank you so much for coming into the live. It's good to see you. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Toot Toot. Cece says, I didn't understand why Shamia used the same surrogate as Candy. I would have wanted a fresh surrogate. Cece, Shamia, I think, loves the connections that she has to the who's who in Atlanta. And I think she kind of likes saying, Candy and I use the same surrogate. I think if Portia had used a surrogate, I think that would have been Shamia's first choice for surrogate. But that lady being up in her 40s and then had just carried a baby. And then when she got cancer, it was an aggressive form of cancer. So poor Shiloh, I think that was so risky. And I'm not an OBGYN or any type health professional. I'm a lay person, as lay person as they come when it comes to this. But see, Dr. Jackie should have known something about it. I think that Shamia was a wealthy, high-profile client, and Gerald. And instead of finding them an appropriate surrogate, in my opinion, Shadeen wanted to take that job for herself. That's what it looks like to me. Me too, AB said. Yeah, it just doesn't make sense. Other than, I mean, you wouldn't think people would be that shallow, but I think that's what happened. Keywan J says exactly. And again, we just give our opinions on these shows. As Baby Tamra says, it's my opinion. But it's allegedly also, because that was risky. Look at Shadeen, and then look at the new lady. I think her name was Danielle. They brought a new lady in. Looked like a college student or something. That's what they should be using. Spelman, Clark Atlanta, go get one of those women. Well, they did get the first Mary Jane license in Rhode Island. American born, yes, that is true. And Toot Latrice is speaking to Keywan JTV. Yeah, that's true. Liz is lucrative. So yeah, people are afraid of Liz and her connections. I'm thinking that that is what that is. I think that is what it is. So then, after Joellen confronts her, like, if you think that you would have been objective and on both sides and you didn't feel I did anything wrong, why'd you tell Liz I did? Kelsey didn't really answer why. She's just muttering and stuttering. And they both come to the conclusion Liz is scary. I don't think she is. She's scary to y'all, but take the scary thing, the scary title off of her, because it's altering how y'all respond to her. You're not being a good friend telling this grown 50 something, not telling her that she's in here yelling in public and pulling hair and threatening and all this kind of stuff. I think Liz needs better friends because everybody seems to be scared of her. It's not to her benefit. So Joellen and Kelsey are not in a bad place, which I think is good. I think Kelsey needs as much support as she can get from everybody in the cast. If she's stopping antagonizing Rosie, they don't like each other, but they could get along. I think they could. So they don't want to fight with each other. They don't want to fight with Liz. And Joellen says, they're back in the house scene. She says, well, let me see your picture. I'm going to show you mine. It's funny. So she said, let me see your picture. Kelsey turns her picture around. Y'all, it was a sunscape, a beach pic, beautiful. I would hang that on my wall now, right next to Muhammad Ali. She drew this masterpiece in like however many minutes they were working on it. And Joanne's like, oh, what? Because she thought like we just like paint and sip. They do the wine, paint and sip. No, Kelsey's a serious artist, girl. I'm madder at you wasting 10 years with this old man, and he's half the time in Miami with multiple women, not just one. Kelsey's really talented. Kelsey, she does a lot of bragging and bravado, but I don't think she believes in herself, y'all. And I hate to see it. To give up 10 years of your life, I hate it. I hate it. So Joellen turns her picture around. Kelsey, let them know that this is bothering you. When Joellen turns her picture around, it is a picture of a pig with lipstick on it. It says slam pig. Kelsey tried to pretend she didn't like that, but y'all, that hurt this lady's feelings now. Don't do that. This is wrong. But I'm sorry. I had to laugh because Joellen, you might be the devil. That's terrible. And Rhode Island was run by the mob, American born. I'm watching some of the after show. I have to finish it. And Alycia is saying that a town they went to was allegedly a really crooked town, and the judges were crooked. The men that were running it were, if not crooked, not straight. Okay, if not crooked, not straight. The police were doing their own thing, and it could be true. Kelsey's pick was beautiful. American born, didn't it look like something that I don't even know how to describe it? It was so beautiful. The colors, everything. I said, this girl is really talented. This man must have did a number on her. I don't know. Where's your father? We've seen the mother. We met the sister. Where's your father to talk to this man that's his age, taking your daughter's self-esteem little by little? And he got the girl when she was 20, y'all. That's why I have compassion for her. When she's college age, she meets this man, and then she's laid up with him for 10 years. He doesn't want any children because he has children her age, and he's just using money to help steal her youth. And now she's mad at everybody else. Mad at Rosie because I think she's jealous of Rosie and Rosie's life. So we see Rula. Rula's showing up for work. Hello, Rula. She is dressed to kill. Y'all, I still like Rula. I don't know what it is, but when Rula gets on the screen, I start smiling. So Rula shows up to some restaurant. They're going to eat like outside. And Liz is meeting her there. So Rula shows up. And she says in her confessional, I haven't seen Liz since the polo match. We know that the polo match was right after Liz's party where Gary and Joellen confronted Rula and Brian. Rula was kind of holding her own, if a little bit delusional, but Brian started muttering and stuttering, and they kind of got beat up couple to couple. They really did. So Liz, we see this long text, a long heartfelt text that Liz sent Rula. Like, I haven't seen you. I hope you're all right. I believe you that you say you're sick. Now, I know we drag Rula over calling in to work and that sort of thing, but I do believe that she is sick. And in the text, I couldn't read the whole thing. I need to stop it and read it. But in the text, Liz was saying, I do believe you're ill because of part of what's going on in your life. We know Brian's over there humiliating the woman, and then the mistress is over there trying to sneak into her home and boil bunnies. That lady's crazy, going everywhere Rula goes, taking pictures. and tagging everybody from Bravo to Bravo's mama. So yeah, Rula is a little stressed, and she hasn't decided to leave Brian yet. So she's being judged for that, and I judge her for that. I do. And Rula said, I hearted the text. I don't think I responded. Rula, you know you didn't respond. But Liz, I think, really does have feelings for Rula. And Rula is in her 40s. Liz is the oldest. She's in her 50s. She's Gen X. But Rula is at a place in her life where she does identify with Liz a lot. But Rula is there to gloat, honey. Liz sits down and Rula says, well, I got a couple of calls. I find out what happened, what went on over there at Rich's event. Because we know Rula was invited, but she doesn't go. She didn't go. So Liz is saying, well, I'm having problems with Alycia. And then Joellen being the two-faced. Now they've skipped over Alycia. The initial issue was with Alycia and Liz. Now Liz is madder at, she's madder. I'm sorry, y'all, that I'm like hesitating on the names. It's like this AA. Liz is madder at Alycia than she is Joellen. So Liz is madder at Alycia than she is Joellen. They order their drinks, honey. Rula, you sick? Rula got her a margarita. So she's drinking in the middle of the day, but this is my kind of woman. And she ends up, they both end up getting margaritas. I thought that was funny. So Alycia is the person that now, Liz kind of wants to make up with Alycia, but she's mad at Joellen. So this is crazy. They're both sitting there talking together. And Rula's saying, well, she said, Joellen, everybody was saying that whatever Joellen does, it's funny, it's cute. Kind of to the equivalent of that. I'm putting words in Rula's mouth. But she said, oh, Liz says, I see what you're talking about when it comes to Joellen. And Rula says, oh, you see what I'm talking about. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome in. Welcome to me. Welcome. I've tried to tell everybody about it. So Joellen evidently is a mess. So Liz says, at first I thought I was being bamboozled. I was being tag teamed on the way to Boston. Joellen's taking up the space as the peacemaker. She's not the peacemaker. She's pretending that she cares about everybody else. She doesn't care about everybody else. Rula's sitting there drinking her margarita, and she's kind of like egging it on, but not really. She's like, whoa, really, really? So Liz is really mad. So Liz is that, I doubt Joellen's authenticity. And Rula's like, okay, welcome to my world. I already knew this. And Liz is like, no, it's not that you already knew. We didn't say you weren't, we didn't believe you. It's just, I didn't see it for myself. So Liz, you're one of those people. It has to happen to you. Y'all, I love this. This part was really funny. Rula looked so thin. Yeah, she is. I'm telling you, I think she does fake call out sick because she doesn't want to face Joellen right now. But I do think that the stress is getting to her. I got it. When you said thin, yeah, she's very thin. I'm back in the chat. Thank you, Miss Jackson. Woo, you are for real. Glad to see you in the chat. Welcome. Hey, Miss Jackson, American Born is speaking. All the Bravo channels are calling Rula out for not showing up to work. Yeah, I mean, when she shows up, she has good scenes. I like Rula. Even that fake scene that she had with the neighbor last week, I didn't mind that. Rula makes me laugh. Rula didn't mind asking Joellen for proof, though, did she? And she did do that. And then when Joellen, her problem is she can give you proof, but she won't stop giving it to you. You're like, okay, I've seen enough now. She's like, nope, here's a video. So Joellen is one of those ones, probably because of her background. Excuse me, y'all. Probably because of her background, she goes a little bit too far because she's been accused of lying and things like that. So she actually does take it a little too far, and she does double and triple down. So we do get that from Joellen. Key1 JTV says, I like Rula, but I don't understand how she don't show up. Yeah, and I don't know. Which contract are you working on, Rula? Because everyone has heard the rumor that allegedly she was friend of, but her life was so messy, they upgraded and gave her an actual oyster, and she's still showing up like she's Cynthia Bailey or somebody. Rula, we need you here. We need you here. She delivers when she's there, but again, I don't like her calling out sick like that. AB says, yeah, I like her as well, but I want to see more of her. Yeah, that's me too. And I'm getting that criticism when I look at different channels that we're saying, hey, Rula, you got to come to work. We want to see you. So Joellen allegedly, according to Liz, she's playing this peacemaker role, but she's allegedly the devil. And Rula saying, that's what I was telling everybody in advance. But like AB pointed out, Rula, you were the one that told Joellen, bring me the evidence against Brian and I'll consider it, this, that, and the other. She brought you the evidence. She brought you pictures, text messages. You were mad. There's still this video out there of Brian and his mistress hugging, holding each other, whatever else the video shows. And allegedly they're still together. And Kiwanja agrees with AB. He's like, yeah, I agree. We do. We like Rula when she shows up. She's not like a housewife that shows up and doesn't deliver. She delivers. So Liz is still mad. She's like, give me an effing break. So she's doubting Joellen's authenticity. I don't know. I think everybody is not just one thing. Joellen can be two-faced, but she can also be a mediator and the peacemaker, because I'm not going to take away her role in the ride on the way to Boston. I think Liz was over the top in how she was handling Alycia. I believed Alicia's tears. I believe she really was upset, especially with Liz when she double, tripled down, because Alycia says that she has known Liz her entire life and the families have been around each other. And that's why the aunties were upset too. So we have watched Joellen play every side of different issues, but that's been going on since the beginning. So Rula saying, I'm flattered that she's so interested in my life. And then Rula, this is why we love Rula. Rula says, you're interested in my life. She needs to go and fix hers. We get a confessional with Rula. Rula shows up to work in those confessionals. She says she's going, saying all these things about me and my marriage, my husband. The whole time there was things I could say about her, her marriage, her husband. She said, and I don't find that she has been the most loyal to her husband. Rula, I'm like, oh, wow. I said, I knew it. I knew they were going to wake Rula up. You've seen Rula. Rula, she's back Liz up before. Rula doesn't play, but Rula's one of them people you got to drag it out of her. And then you're like, why did I ever start messing with her? Joellen, Rula going to make you rue the day. Pun intended. American Born said, by that time, the whole town knew about it. Exactly. So, I mean, I don't need all this evidence. She already knows. But her being a financial planner, we heard the advice that she was giving Alycia. Rula knows what to do. And when it's time for her to do it, she's going to do it. And she also seems so stubborn. She's one of those people that's like, you're not going to tell me when to leave my marriage. I'm going to tell me. Because she don't treat Brian like, oh, I just got to have him. She treat him like, you sit right here. When I get ready to get you, you're going to get got. And then that other lady he got lined up, she's as crazy as can be. And I don't think she's an earner like Rula. I just don't. I mean, I know she's manipulated him out of half of that business that they have together. But I don't know. I think Brian's not going to have an easy time once Rula finally, I think, leaves him. I don't know that he will leave her. Miss Jackson says they need to leave Rula's marriage alone and she needs to tell them. Yeah, Miss Jackson, I don't think it's going to end well for the people that were kind of rooting for the downfall of her marriage. And of course, her own husband being one of those people. Brian, we don't hold you blameless. Rula's on 10 now. American Born, she is. I laughed when she said that in the confessional. And then she was telling Liz as well, I've been trying to tell you all about how Joellen was. Now you're seeing it for yourself. And then she also tells Liz, and we know Liz gets on the phone and Liz starts dialing. And she tells Liz as well, she's been telling me about my marriage. There were a lot of things I could have said about hers, and I didn't. And Liz's ears perked up, honey. Liz's ears were sitting straight out. So she lets Liz know, too, that Joellen saying that my husband is not loyal to me, I think that is pot, meat, kettle. And Liz is not the brightest bulb in the lamp, but she got that. Y'all, I told Gary in that glitter jacket while he was doing all this confronting and all this kind of stuff, I got a kick out of it. I loved it. But Gary, that sets you up for people to now scrutinize you. Starting with Jen, with the You Give Love a Bad Name hair and her little denim sleeveless dress and then stirring sausages. I think that's where we're going to start. And then we're going to end up, now we hear Joellen is not loyal as well to her husband. So why would Joellen feel that she's entitled to step outside of her marriage unless something else was already going on within her marriage with Gary and whomever else? Starting at home, because they clearly have no boundaries. So nothing we hear about them is going to shock me. Y'all, I might go to Skid Row, otherwise known as Reddit, and find out some information for an extra. I'll try to pull together an extra for tomorrow. So the last scene we get there, this was a little bit corny. Bill and Kelsey going up to this gym. The gym's empty. This guy's clearly only let them in to get his gym on the news. I didn't write the name down, David, because I don't care. Nice looking older man. He's a trainer. And Bill is in there already working out. And then he's like, oh, she said, you got the biggest butt I've ever seen on a man, she says to Billy. So they're kind of joking a little bit, but Billy's joking with a poker face, y'all. I don't know about men that joke like this. He's like, oh, you look pretty good from behind too. And David's like, seemed to be unaware that they're a couple. He's like, what's all this baby stuff? He said, are you two supposed to be official? Why did y'all tell David what y'all were doing? You're getting a Bravo check for Kelsey because she just got out of this relationship. Y'all, I found that so funny. So they sit down, they start talking, and Kelsey is telling Billy that, well, what do you consider us? And he's looking at her like, yeah, I'll say we're together. She said, say it with some integrity. Kelsey, I think you meant intensity. He said, yeah, we're together. And then she said, well, we never had the talk of I'm the girlfriend, he's my boyfriend. He was just waiting for me. And I assumed that he was being exclusive. Now, she was not being exclusive. She had a whole man the whole time who's been paying her way, letting her live in that huge mansion. And even though he had other women, plural, down in Miami, Kelsey had Billy on the side, and she expected Billy. She said, I tested him and he passed the test. He was not dating anyone else while we were together. Now, Kelsey, I don't believe that, but that's what they say. Billy's a young man. He's a good looking man. I don't believe it, but that she's saying that. So she says for 10 years, she's been testing him. He's passed with flying colors. So they're sitting here. He's saying, well, what are you going to do about the car? She's saying, well, I need to get the car sorted out. Are you going to be able to pay the car? He said, well, I mean, we've had the conversation. Then they're talking about healthcare. Y'all, Kelsey dropped a bomb on the audience. She said a few years ago, something was going on where she had to have a CAT scan. The CAT scan ended up finding a brain tumor. Kelsey, I'm so glad you're all right. She got it out. It was one of those tumors that it was benign, but you got to take it out. And they took it out. Thank God. They got all of it. It didn't cause her problems, but she was advised you need 2 CAT scans a year for the rest of her life to make sure it doesn't grow back. So her boyfriend told her, I'll pay for your insurance because you're going to need top of the line insurance. Because, you know, you can have health insurance and they may not cover anything, or your copay might be exorbitant. But that's why the boyfriend's been paying for that. This man sat here and told her, we'll figure it out, Kels. Kelsey said she could have gone blind. You telling her, figure it out, Kels. This is where I saw something in Billy where I don't know that Billy is really that interested in her. And I think he's a little bit upset that she had him on ice all this time and expecting him to not have anyone on the side. And she has a whole relationship, not on the side, front and center. She had Billy on the side. So Billy says it comes to a point where a line has to get drawn. I don't foresee the need. He's talking about her insurance now, where she said that the boyfriend's going to still cover all this. He's covering rent, car insurance, and her health insurance. Now, the car insurance, whatever the cost of that's going to be, based on what kind of car she gets. She gets another Range Rover, then that insurance is going to be significantly higher than if she were driving around in a Nissan Altima. We know Kelsey, she's not going to drive around in Altima. She was already talking about a Lamborghini or something else, the lady said. Kelsey is just childish. AB says, I don't believe that either Bill had to have had another woman. Yeah, I think he had to have had another one during that time. And he's young and he's handsome. He works out. I don't buy it. And now I'm fearful for Kelsey because he seems a little resentful. And as this show airs, I know he's going to get an earful like, I would have been out here doing this, that, and the other. Thank you, Cece, for checking in. There's the 4 likes and 8 in the live. So if you're in the bushes, please go ahead and like the live. I'd appreciate that so much. If you're in the chat particularly, go ahead and like the live. Or you could do it on the way out if you want to. Key1 JTV says that Billy is insecure. But yeah, I think that he would be Key1 J because, again, she chose someone else over him, a man older than both of them for 10 years, over 10 years in her prime. And I'm just saying that as like throwing that out in her prime. That's not her prime. This girl's in her early 30s. I want Kelsey to grow up. So I wrote down, Kelsey, don't let your health insurance go for this man. Whether Billy pays it or not, she needs it. She really needs it. So she says, well, it's going to be us at some point. And Billy's looking kind of serious. He says, No, it's not going to be us at some point. It's going to be us right now. He said, you put me through hell long enough. And the way he's looking at Kelsey, you got to be wary of a man that feels like you put him through hell long enough. What is she going to do when Billy starts issuing hell out on her and raining down hell on her? Because I think that's coming, y'all. I don't care for Kelsey, but I don't want any woman to set herself up to be mistreated. And Billy seems like he's looking for revenge on her, y'all. I didn't like that. So this scene in the gym, this was very illuminating. I don't know. Kiwan J said he's insecure. That's a dangerous type, Kiwan J, because he might have something to prove after 10 years of her choosing someone else. And Kiwan J TV is saying Billy can't afford her. Kiwan, I have to finish watching the after show, but somebody brought up that Billy can't really afford Kelsey. And then Joellen, who seems to know everything, says, Billy's got a ton of money. So Joellen, I don't know. How do you know that? What does he do? Or does he come from a wealthy family as well? On the after show, Joellen said Billy had a lot of money. And yeah, she did say that. So I don't know. Maybe he's from a family that has a lot of money. I don't know. And he's probably been getting pressure from his family over the years. Like, okay, now you're a man in your early 30s. You want your own wife. You want children. And this woman's over here with someone else who won't give her anything other than financial. So this was crazy. So we hear from Alycia in a confessional. Liz has reached out. She does want to talk to her, but she needs a break. And then we see Joellen. This was the final scene. Joellen is driving to meet with Liz. She dials Alycia, and Alycia tells us as well that, yeah, that she got a text and she's getting calls from Liz who wants to meet up, but she's not ready yet. She wants her to give her some more time. And Joellen, in the 10 episodes for this first season that we've seen Joellen, she's braggadocious, she's in your face. Joellen seems a little bit on edge. She seems a little bit nervous to go and meet Liz. So y'all, this is crazy. And Joelle is saying that Liz has something in her head where she feels like people are against her and they're just not. So Liz, I don't know, these gummies, are they giving you paranoia like that? Whatever it is, don't put it in the menopause gummies, because I want to try those. So this is crazy. Again, the aunties, the Rhode Island OLGs, old lady gang, they speculated it was the medical marijuana causing that. I don't know, but why would Liz feel like people are against her? I think they were all kind of elevating her. I don't know if it was just age, like, well, she's the oldest one, we're going to pay her that respect, or if whatever else she and Jerry and Dino down by the water, the seawall, whatever they had going on, the AB said, is it the family? I don't know. I don't know, everybody. Liz, what you got going on where these people are scared of you? Because even Joellen is a little bit afraid to meet her. Kiwan J said he may have money, but not like, oh boy, money, AB. Yeah, that's true. I don't think many people could compare to what this, and he's from the family of like a judge. Oh, why was somebody was on there saying, Alycia, you talk a lot. Alycia was on the after show saying, supposedly that area of Rhode Island, everyone was so connected, and it was, familyed up. The familyed up, and also the police and the judges and all this kind of stuff. Ooh, I don't know. And they allegedly even paid for Kelsey's sash. Not the Slam Pig one, the Queen of Rhode Island one, Miss Rhode Island. So Liz is still waiting for an opportunity for her and Joellen to get together. Liz is still saying now, though, that she's telling Rula, I'm sorry, they were still at the lunch. And it started like pouring down rain. Oh, no, this is Liz. Liz meets with Joellen. Liz pulled right up in front. So I couldn't tell if it was a valet or not, but she pulls right up in front. Joellen is there, and Joellen's like, I'm freezing. And she was having kind of like the headlights were on, let's put it that way. And Liz was saying, well, that's good. We love that. So I thought, well, oh, good. They're going to like joke together. It's going to be okay. But then Liz starts looking at her like, yeah, I'm getting ready to get you. So Liz is really angry with Joellen. It started pouring down rain. Again, that wasn't a good sign. That's why I don't like sidewalk cafes. So Liz is saying, I'm not going to go back to the homeless, not toothless conversation. That's not what she said, but y'all, it sounded like that in my ear. Wah, wah, wah. She says, now my problem is that you took a position against me and appointed yourself as the peacemaker during the ride, this, that, and the other. So now she's let Joellen know. She got her on notice, like, you owe me an apology. I think Liz owes Alycia and Joellen an apology. I don't think I'm wrong. Liz, why are you upset? Liz is upset with Joellen. Joellen is looking at Liz like she is crazy. And Liz is standing 10 toes down. So Liz is saying, there's a part of you, you're trying to be the mediator, you're trying to pretend you're a peacemaker, and there's nothing about you that makes things better, ever. That's how Liz was talking to Joellen. Joellen is shocked. I thought we were going to get more mouth from Joellen. And Joellen says, why are you so cruel to me? Liz, just what did I do to you in the past? Why are you so cruel to me? American Born pointed out earlier, when they were using Joellen to get information on people and be at parties confronting people and putting their business on Front Street, Joellen was the funniest, cutest thing in the world. She does one thing, and the only thing was she didn't let you verbally abuse somebody who was already crying, and now you're mad at her and she's the worst person in the world. So Liz, please blame me. Menopause. I don't want to be against Liz. I really like Liz, but Liz is acting crazy. Liz showed up like Shamia on 10. American Born, she was hyped up or something was going on. I mean, she even had Joellen on edge and kind of, y'all, I saw like the teenager in Joellen, like, and she might have been even identifying with Liz as a mother. She was like, why are you so mean to me? What did I do to you? Joellen is really puzzled. She is hurt. She's puzzled. Kind of like what happened to Alycia. Alicia's more hurt. Alicia's now angry. Y'all, I'm concerned for Liz at this reunion. Liz, you're not a reader. You don't have it in you. I think Alycia, people think Alicia's dumb, but Alicia's really emotionally mature about certain things. Now, not the finances, but she sees people for who they are. I think she sees who Liz is now, and she's not going to let her get away with it. I think the same thing for Joellen. So Liz is telling Joellen, you're running around. We're best of friends. We're best of friends. You're not a good friend to me. She's doing the same thing that she did to Kelsey. The second Kelsey asked her something she didn't like, and it was really something that was small. Oh, was something ongoing with you and Dino? She got cursed out like a dog, thrown out, kicked down the stairs. You're not my friend. Now she's doing the same thing to Joellen. And Liz, this bothered me to see this. Joellen says, I look on you as a big sis. My mom, I've known you so long. My granddad died. You gave me the first call. I always thought we were best friends. This hurts me. Why are you doing this to me? And Liz is looking at this lady like she's a stranger on the street, y'all. This was kind of heartbreaking. Liz, this is terrible. Why are you doing this? This is the worst case of grand opening, grand closing for a fan favorite housewife I've ever seen. Liz, you got the cloak on you. The whole show does, but y'all, this was hurtful. I think Joellen is messy. She's a mess, but she's funny. She's sweet. She doesn't really mean to hurt anyone. So Joellen is saying, and you doing that to me in the car. You were doing that to Alycia. You were being mean. You were being cruel. And she said, when we were in the club, you started pulling my hair. Liz is saying, I did not pull your hair. She said, you pulled my chair. I did not pull your chair. Production shows back at Cabo. Liz literally pulled and shakes her chair. Liz pulled and shook Joellen's chair. And I said a few times, Joellen, why are you sitting there near Liz? To the point where Joellen jumped up and ran out. Liz went out for a smoke break first. And then at one point, Joellen jumped and ran out. So she didn't punch Liz out. So Liz says, you don't remember all the talking that you were doing? You're a freak. You saying, I pulled your hair, you're the effing devil. I'm like, Liz, you don't remember that? This is crazy. So Liz is saying, you pushed me. This is effed up, that you were kicking my chair. Everything that Joellen was saying that Liz did, Liz claimed that Joellen did it to her. Production, can we see this full unedited video? Because now, y'all, Liz is so crazy. She had me questioning what I saw. Wasn't Liz like pulling Joellen's chair and all that kind of stuff? This was crazy. So I don't think they're coming back from this friendship. Liz gets a confessional, the one where she's dressed in that little flowery thing with the thing on her head. And y'all, I always thought she was stylish and adorable. Liz is looking crazy as crazy can be. Liz says with a straight face, the second she said to me, I pulled her chair, I hit her, I pulled her hair. I know she's the devil. And Liz, you actually did do all that. And I wrote in here, I need to see whole unedited footage. So Joellen is upset, and Liz walked away. I'm sorry. I need to see the whole unedited footage. I made that note to myself. Joellen's crying in the confessional. She said, I don't want to fight with Liz. And then Liz says, oh, bye, because Joellen gets up to leave. And y'all, that was the end of the episode. This episode it kept my attention. It started out finishing up what happened in Cabo, and then we had the beach scene with Rich and his family. All these different things happened. Found out Kelsey had a brain tumor and that she's a master artist. So I'll go ahead and give it a 9. Y'all, this was really, really crazy. This was crazy. Liz okay, yeah, she did show up like she'd be on 10. Cece said, did y'all see the video of Liz showing her home? Her vanity had a crystal ball, a big smudge stick. Y'all think she's into some other things? I wouldn't let her touch me or take hair. Cece, you know that is a big thing now. Did you notice? Oh, did y'all say that? What is her background? I'm just saying, I'm curious about different cultures. I love to travel. Rosie, remember when she kicked the devil out of her house? She had protection spray and she had sage. So if she got smudge sticks and all that, she knows what the deal is. I'm going to have to look at the tour of Liz's home again. I don't know. Do they consider that heritage gypsies? I'm totally ignorant. I'm not trying to be offensive. If you correct me down in the comments, you're welcome to do so. And I consider all information. I like to read a lot. Doesn't mean I know everything. But Cece brought up a point I didn't think of, and it is a good one. So yeah, her vanity had a crystal ball, a big smudge stick. Yeah, and then this man, he's driving around in a boat for years, winning all kind of fish awards. Nobody knows anything about it. Nobody's getting caught for anything. But Dino gets caught over the open road, and Liz's name repeatedly comes up, allegedly, and in my opinion. I thought her home would be nicer inside. I have to look at it. This episode was another 10. American Born gave it a 10. I gave it a 9. This show is highly rated. This is an amazing A+ first season. Replay game. Hit the like button, drop a comment, and let's hype this video up. Cece, we expect Cece to be the strict teacher substitute, and I appreciate that because that makes you work harder. You give it an 8.5, and 8.5, y'all, that is a B+. So Cece did not give it any like a low grade. She gave it an 8.5. That is a C+. American Born gave it a 10. I gave it a 9. So these are the lovely ladies behind me, still showing up to work. Even Rula. Thank you, Rula. That's another reason why it's highly rated. We got to see Miss Rula. And Rula didn't fire a shot. She just put a little warning through a little rock across the bow, letting you know, okay, bag up. She's letting Joellen know. And Joellen, now that you are not protected and giving information about somebody else, there's going to be an issue with you. And I'm kind of sorry to see it. Oh, Cece, we will take that. Yeah, the 8.5. I love it. If the tussle had commenced, I would have given it a 10. Y'all hear that, Rhode Island? You're going to have to box. You're going to have to box whether or not it's featherweight versus a heavyweight like we had with my girl Shamia and Angela. Angela beat them down brown over there. American Born is laughing at Cece. I'll take it too. I mean, I love the verbal sparring, but at some point, some people get so disrespectful. You got to come with something else. So those of you that joined me twice this morning, thank you so much. I am Sandra P's Gen Extra. I am a growing content creator. I love building my subscribers, and I love my regulars. I love the new people, and particularly Team Replay, because you get to click the like button and also utilize the new hype feature if you choose to do that. Cece, the moderator, is saying, have a blessed day, everyone, and I'm agreeing with her. Thank all of you, and I'll see you in the YouTube streets. Thank you, American Born. She said, thank you, Sandra, and I'm thanking you right back. Have a great day, everyone, and I'll probably see you tomorrow morning. We'll have to do some extra.
Just put a label on it, even if it doesn't change the circumstance. Because there's so much about this moment that is trying to make people feel like they've lost their mind. When in fact, these motherfuckers are crazy.